Welcome to Cruise News, your daily update on everything happening at sea. Visit cruisenews.io to see today's stories and sign up for email alerts. Hello, everyone. It is Monday, January 19, 2026. Hope you had a great weekend. I am really excited for today's deep dive because we have a stack of stories that I think really paints a picture of where the industry is heading.
It feels like we're looking at three completely different facets of cruising today, doesn't it?
It really does. So here's what we've got. First, we are heading to China. Adora Cruises is putting up numbers that are just staggering. They're about to hit a huge passenger milestone, and they're building this new flower-themed mega ship.
Almost entirely homegrown, which is the key part of that story.
Exactly. Then we're going to look at Royal Caribbean International's Star of the Seas. It's been out for a few months, but we're learning it's basically a floating laboratory for energy efficiency.
And finally, we'll switch gears completely to something a little more, tangible for the guest. Princess Cruises just took home a major global award for its food.
Right. So, quick tone check. I am caffeinated and ready to geek out on these ship specs.
And I am ready to explain why supply chains are actually the most exciting part of that first story.
Of course you are. Okay, let's unpack this. Adora Cruises. If you haven't been watching the Asian market, you might have missed just how fast this is all moving.
I mean, it's incredibly fast.
We are talking about a cruise line that launched less than 3 years ago, and they are already closing in on their 1 millionth passenger.
Which is a massive number in that time frame. To start a cruise line from scratch and hit 7 figures that quickly is, well, it's practically unheard of.
It is. According to their CEO, Roger Chen, they've carried nearly 1 million people on 300 voyages. And here's the stat that just blew my mind. They now hold 43% of China's cruise capacity.
And that 43% figure is really the headline here, isn't it?
It has to be.
Yeah, because the conversation a few years ago was all about the big international lines moving ships into China. What we're seeing now is that the Chinese rebound is being built on domestic ships. It's a localized product.
A completely localized product. And speaking of that, let's talk about the hardware. They have the Adora Mediterranean.
Which was the old Costa Mediterranean?
Right. And the Adora Magic City. But the real news is about ship number 3.
The Adora Flora City.
Yes, the Flora City. It's targeted for delivery this December in 2026. And they aren't just, copying the last design. It's going to be 17 meters longer.
And the atrium, the central hub of the ship, is going to be twice the size.
With a design concept centered on flowers, which sounds lovely. But you mentioned something about the supply chain being the real story here.
Oh, absolutely. So usually when we talk about building these massive ships, we're talking about a European supply chain.
Yeah.
Italy, Germany, Finland.
Right, all the big shipyards.
Exactly. The glass, the furniture, the systems, it's all coming from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But Adora's just flipping that script entirely. For the Flora City, Chinese suppliers are expected to provide 85% of the interior components.
Wait, say that again? 85%?
85%. And you compare that to maybe 10% on their earlier ships. They are actively trying to reduce their reliance on international suppliers from 90% all the way down to 15%.
Wow.
This isn't just about building a ship, it's about building an entire industrial ecosystem inside China.
So they are manufacturing the experience from the carpet up. It's a move toward total self-sufficiency.
It is. And that plays right into their deployment strategy, too.
Mm-hmm.
The CEO is calling it the 13-14 strategy.
I do love a good corporate strategy name. What does 13-14 actually mean?
It's all focused on the Greater Bay Area, so Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Hong Kong. The idea is to have a regional base with year-round sailing. They're moving ships around to just blanket the area.
So they're covering North, East, and South China.
That's the goal. But they do face this one huge challenge, and it's demographics.
Okay.
Chen noted that China's population aged 60 and over has hit 310 million people.
310 million. That's almost the population of the entire United States.
Exactly. And Chen's argument is that the industry just can't scale there without getting those seniors on board. It's all about the silver economy.
Which makes sense. But they are also going after them in a way I've never seen before. This is where it gets really interesting. We know booking windows in the West can be a year out. In China, it's 1 to 3 months.
Super last minute, very impulse driven.
So to lean into that, they're using live streaming. Adora tested a 24-hour TikTok or Douyin live stream sales campaign.
Like a 24-hour infomercial.
Yes, on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it reached 6 million viewers. They are literally selling cruise cabins like influencers sell makeup.
Well, it makes sense. If your booking window is that short, you need these high-volume instant sales channels like WeChat. It's a completely different model.
Okay, let's move from the east to the west. Specifically to Port Canaveral, we have to talk about Royal Caribbean International and the Star of the Seas.
The second Icon-class ship, a monster of a vessel.
It is. It entered service last August. It's a beast, 250,000 gross tons, 5,600 passengers. But what's interesting is Royal Caribbean isn't just calling it a vacation spot. They're calling it an efficiency test bed.
Right. And this is so important because the criticism of these huge ships is always their environmental footprint. Royal Caribbean is using this ship to prove they can scale cleaner cruising.
And they're putting numbers on it. Nick Rose, their VP of Environmental Programs, said the ship is about 24% more efficient than the Oasis-class ships.
Which is a huge jump. Usually you're fighting for 1 or 2%.
So how are they doing it? I mean, it can't be just one thing.
No, it's a marginal gains approach.
Yeah.
But the big headliner is LNG, liquefied natural gas.
And they're storing this fuel at, what, minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit?
And that is the key. They aren't just letting the coldness from that fuel dissipate when they turn it back into a gas to be burned. They're actually capturing that cold energy.
Wait, so they're using the fuel to help air condition the ship before they even burn it to move the ship?
In simple terms, yes. They're harvesting the physics of it. They're also capturing waste heat from the engines. It's about squeezing every single drop of energy out of the entire system.
And they're getting really sci-fi with the waste, too. I'm seeing microwave-assisted pyrolysis here.
It sounds like something from Back to the Future, doesn't it?
It really does. But my favorite bit of tech is actually in the cabins, this low port mode energy system.
Oh, the automation. This is brilliant because it solves a human behavior problem.
Yeah. You know how you have to stick your key card in the slot by the door to keep the lights on?
And people just jam a business card in there so the AC stays on all day. So wasteful.
Right. Well, Star of the Seas uses machine learning. It just knows when you leave the room. It powers down the lights and HVAC automatically. It doesn't need a key card.
And that's where the industry is heading, taking the human error out of energy saving. We should also mention the water. It produces 100% of its own fresh water.
And this isn't happening in a vacuum. I mean, Princess Cruises launched the LNG-powered Star Princess last year. Disney has new ships coming online.
Everyone is upgrading. They have to. The regulations are getting tighter, and frankly, fuel is expensive. Efficiency isn't just about being green, it's about protecting the bottom line.
That's true. Okay, so we've got the Chinese flower ship, we've got the high-tech energy lab. Let's talk about something a little closer to the stomach.
The Royal Princess.
Yes. Princess Cruises just took home a huge award. The Royal Princess was named World's Best Culinary Cruise Ship for 2025 at the World Culinary Awards.
And this is a big deal because the voters are a mix. It's culinary pros, industry folks, and, regular consumers. It's a real validation.
So why did they win? What's happening in the dining rooms that's so different?
I think it signals that cruise lines are finally succeeding at selling dining as the destination itself. They're moving away from the giant dining hall concept toward these specialized chef-led experiences.
Okay, let's run through the menu because reading this made me hungry. First, you have the Crown Grill. That's their signature steakhouse. Premium aged beef, seafood, open kitchen.
A classic, but executed perfectly.
Then, Alfredo's Pizzeria, which has been voted best pizza at sea. And it features pizzas by Chef Tony Gemignani.
And if you know pizza, that name means something. He's a world pizza champion. They didn't just find a recipe. They brought in a master.
That's the difference. Then there's Sabatini's Italian Trattoria. They've partnered with the Frescobaldi wine family for pairings.
Again, it's not just Italian night. It's a curated event that could stand on its own on land.
And for the really fancy night, there's the Chef's Table Lumiere, where you dine inside a curtain of light.
Very theatrical.
And they have a Caymus winemaker's dinner, too. It seems like they're targeting every type of foodie.
They are. And notice the itineraries. Royal Princess is sailing from Los Angeles to Mexico and California, and then it's moving to Alaska, regions with strong culinary identities.
That geography really matters.
It does. They're aligning the award-winning food with the local sourcing opportunities. It's very smart.
So if you're a foodie, it sounds like Royal Princess is the ship to beat right now.
It definitely sets a high bar.
Okay, so let's just recap what we've learned today. We have Adora Cruises in China building a self-sufficient ecosystem with a new mega ship and a hyper-local supply chain.
A move that could honestly change global shipbuilding dynamics.
Then we have Royal Caribbean's Star of the Seas, basically a floating computer using machine learning to get more efficient.
Proving that the biggest ships can actually be the most efficient per passenger.
And finally, Princess Cruises, proving you can win global awards by focusing on the details of what's on the plate.
Proving that the way to a passenger's loyalty is still through a really, really good slice of pizza and a great glass of wine.
It's fascinating. And here's a final thought for you to chew on. We talked about Adora's strategy of hyper-localizing its fleet and its supply chain in China. My question is, how long until we see that China model get exported? We see it with electric vehicles. If Chinese shipyards can build these ships with 85% local parts, cheaper and faster than Europe, how long until a Western cruise line orders their next mega ship from Shanghai?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? If the quality matches the price, the whole center of gravity for shipbuilding could shift east for good.
Something to watch. That is all for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening to Cruise News. Visit cruisenews.io to catch up on the latest updates and sign up for free email alerts.